welcome. It is Tuesday. Let's get that started right away. It's Tuesday, and it is day 10 of the Sumo, and I've got the results here on my phone, and we're just going to go over, this is obviously my hotel room here in Fukuoka. It's pretty late. It's about 10 p.m. So hopefully I'll get this, figure out how to get this posted via my iPad to YouTube in the next couple hours. But I didn't obviously do day 9 Sumo Summary Show. Just was out last night with my friend Brian, who lives down here in Kyushu, having a great time. We went out for Mexican food, went to the Hub Pub bar afterwards at Hakata Station, saw the illumination. Some of these pictures I'll be sharing on various socials, and maybe I did take some video today at the arena, and I plan on posting those as shorts. But I think shorts have to be a minute long, and all of mine are like 2 or 3 minutes long, because I would start recording just before the tachiai through the match. But it's from my phone from far away. It's not like the most amazing thing, but you get a sense of the atmosphere. The fan who invited me to go with him, Steven, had this amazing telephoto camera, and he was taking amazing pictures. So if he shares those in some capacity and then allows me to reshare them, I will let you know. Okay, well, jumping into what happened today for day 10, Amaise, the Maegashira 18, came back from injury. So I don't know details, but he fought today. And even though he's assured with 9 absences of getting demoted down to Jurio at M18, he's back. And I'm assuming he wants to get a few wins to not go way down the Jurio Bansuke, because he obviously wants to get a decent score in January and bounce back up to Makuchi. But he didn't win today. I don't remember. I remember him coming out and everybody cheering because he came back, but I don't think he won. But we'll check in a minute. And that's it as far as absences go. So, and the last thing, is this train? This big bag filled with merchandise. I spent about the equivalent of about $250 on you guys on merch today. I went a little crazy on the merch, and I'll show a bunch of stuff at the end. If you're interested in that, stick around. And if you're lucky enough to win a prize in the contest, or sometimes I give out random prizes, and of course I got calendars to give away and things like that. So it was a fun day. I had a really good time. So thank you again to Steven if he's watching this. It's all because of you, buddy. I appreciate it. All right, here we go. So, matches and results for day 10, November 18th, 2025. Yesterday, I don't think there were anything major happened yesterday on Monday. I literally didn't even watch the matches in any way because I was traveling, and then I didn't think about it until this morning when I woke up and I was eating breakfast. I was like, oh, I can watch the NHK World highlights, and I did, and it was lovely. So I sat here, and I don't think I had my hotcake sando. This is one of my favorite things to get. It's a maple syrup and margarine pancake, and they are delicious. But I had some 7-Eleven, or maybe this is Lawson's bread product for breakfast, just a quickie breakfast before I headed out, and watched sumo highlights. So it was a lot of fun, and there were some good matches yesterday, but I'm not going to go over the wins and losses for yesterday. We'll just jump right into day 10 here. Okay, so I got there today at about 1 o'clock, and first things first, I think I mentioned this before I went. It was forecast to be cold, but it hasn't really been cold until today. And so I wore short sleeves and like a flannel long sleeve shirt, like an overshirt yesterday all day, and I was fine. I was never cold. But I have my hoodie, my like it's like a sweatshirt, and it's pretty warm. And I was like, you know what? I'm not. It's kind of bulky. I'm not going to wear that today. I'll wear my Yokozuna shirt, short sleeve, and this overshirt, and I'll take my long sleeve Jason's Sumo Channel shirt if I feel it's cold, because that's easier to stuff in my bag. And the minute I got outside to get the taxi to go to the Kokusai Center, I was like, it's cold. It's kind of cold. Should I go get the thing? Should I go? And I was like, no, I'm here now. I'm on my way. Let me just get a cab. And so I got to the Kokusai Center and I started to take some pictures. I'm like, it's cold. And as soon as I met Steven, he was right there at 1 o'clock to meet me. We went to the food court, and it's all outdoors. It's like food trucks, and we ordered food. And I immediately put on my long sleeve shirt. And I'm like, it's cold, and it was. It was like 8 or 9 degrees centigrade. It was less than 10, and it was sunny-ish, cloudy and sunny, but it wasn't like the sun wasn't making you warmer. And there was a bit of a wind. And while we were sitting there, I'm eating my, steak sandwich, which isn't as good as it sounds, and eating some French fries without ketchup because I don't give you ketchup. Um, I was like, I am fucking cold. So, Steven's over there eating his and drinking a beer, and we're chatting, and I'm like, dude, can we go in as soon as we finish eating? Because you can stay out there and watch. Some of the wrestlers will arrive, and they kind of walk this gauntlet of fans. We're kept behind a barrier, and they walk along in their ceremonial attire into the stadium, but they don't do it like behind the scenes or behind like the parking lot or something. They just do it right in front of the crowd at Fukuoka, and it's really fun. And everybody cheers, no, Takayumi, Roga, and they take pictures. So you can stay out there and do that for a little while. But I was like, dude, I am cold. So that sucked. I wish I'd worn the bigger, the heavier item of clothing and been a bit warmer. But as soon as we got inside, I was fine, and it actually wasn't that warm inside the arena. They were pumping aircon, because I took off one layer after a little while because I was kind of warm, and I'd been walking around getting souvenirs, and then I put it back on toward the end of the day. So if you go, just know it's November, but layers. Okay. So we went inside, and he really wanted to see the Enho match. Okay, Enho is like his wife's favorite wrestler, and he wanted to get pictures. And we were there right at the beginning of Makushita. That's how early we went in, probably around, maybe it wasn't even 2 o'clock. It was maybe like 1:45. So I'm like, cool. I'm gonna go hunt merch, and I'll come back, and then you can go. And that way we can leave stuff at the table. Not that anybody would take anything. It's Japan. And we were sat right next to this kind of grumpy old Hawaiian guy who's like looked Japanese, but he spoke English, and his wife who looked very white. And they were from Hawaii, and they were there to see sumo. But we didn't really chat with them much. I chatted with him like once, and they were good seatmates. They weren't very loud or fussy or anything. And they didn't mind, me every now and then talking to them, my camera, my phone, and taking a video. He wasn't like, "What are you doing there?" or anything like that. And the people right in front of us who were down and sitting in a box were Japanese, and they were there. I mean, they were fans. The woman had Onosato towels and stuff. She was ready. And then the whole row, like 8 boxes because we were right at the end of a row, the whole row from there to the other end of the row were empty for the longest time. And then right around halftime, with an hour to go, this busload of old German tourists, I don't know, they were from some European country. It might not have been Germany. It could have been Italy or France or something, but they did not speak English, and I could not pick up what they were speaking. But they just came and they sat two to a box, and these are boxes that you pay for 4 people to sit in, right? So you pay about $100 a ticket for 4 people, or $400 a box. But you can choose how many people sit in it. It's up to you. But the idea is that four people, but they aren't made for four people, especially for adults who are anything other than Japanese size. So I'm totally fine with them sitting two to a box. But for 1 hour, you're paying $200 for like 1 hour. But they were obviously on some tour. A lady brought them in, said, "Okay, you guys sit here, you guys sit here," and they were, stepping into the boxes with their shoes still on, and the Japanese lady was like, "Oh my God, take off your shoes! What are you doing?" And the lady's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." It was really fun, um, and they were sitting. They had their phones out there. They had no idea what they were watching, obviously. And the one thing about this, though, and I know I haven't even talked about sumo yet. I'm sorry, but it was just such a fun day. The one thing is they they got up and left after the Onosato match, right before the whole Shoru match. So there's two Yokozuna matches at the end. And after the first Yokozuna match, the lady, I guess, who was on the tour was like, "Yep, and they were running late today because there were so many Mono-E today. It was insane." So she was like, "Oh, we got to, maybe they had to get the flight back to Germany. I don't know." But she made them all get up and leave. And of course, when they do that, they're standing in front of all of us that are one row behind. And I was just like, "Oh, please don't get up and like block my view of the next match." But they were pretty good about it, and anyway, it was just weird. I was like, "Wow, that's a lot of money to spend for 1 hour." I wish they could have come longer, but who knows? Maybe their attention wouldn't have held for much longer. Like 1 hour of top division sumo, and they got to see Aonishiki, and they got to see Takayasu, and they got to see a bunch of good matches. Maybe that's enough to sate their curiosity. Check it off a box. I watch live sumo. Anyway, so okay, so Jurio. So I come back. Enho has fought. He got his pictures. Enho lost today, but he got some really good pictures. So I think Enho is 3-2. They fight 7 days down in Makushita. So he's got two more fights. He's got to win one of them. Get his Kachikoshi. But if he can win two of them, he'll go up the Bansuke a decent amount. So the Jurio starts, and let's see. So with Meisei coming back, they don't need an extra wrestler in the top division anymore. So there's no Jurio guy fighting in the top division, but they're uneven in the Jurio division because Mita had to pull out, right? So they pull up a Makushita man, Dewa Noru, to fight the rookie in Jurio, Himu Kamaru, and Dewa Noru ate him up. He's now 5-1 at Makushita 3, so he's going to be at Jurio in January. And Mikamaru, I can't say that name. That was his Makekoshi. He's now 2-8 at Jurio 13, so he's going back to Makushita. So it was a flip-flop match. Shiden won. Wakanosho beat Tohakuru. Then Fuji Ryoga came up. Got a pretty decent, not standing ovation, applause. People are realizing that he's, somebody to look at. And he beat Hiden Umi, so he's now 9-1. And there was one other guy that had one loss, Daisei Izan. He was going to fight later. But for the time, he's on top of the leaderboard. Asasuru won, Tomashoho beat Kaio, and then so on and so forth. Shirokuma got his 7th win. Kageyaki got his 7th win. Asanoyama fought. That was a fun match. And he was up against Daisei Izan, who was 8-1. So he's the other guy who can maintain his one-loss status. And Asanoyama was 6-3. Asanoyama wins to go to 7-3, so he's one away from Kachikoshi, but he wants more than that, obviously. And Daisei Izan drops into the 2-loss group. So Fuji Ryoga is now all alone at the top of the leaderboard in Jurio with 9-1 record. Takeda Fuji won, beating Kotoeho. Kotoeho was doing his awesome, he raises his leg up almost like 90 degrees when he does his leg thing. Asahakiru won Nishikigi, and then Kotokuzan beat Fuji Seiyun, the Jurio one-man, in the final match of the Jurio division. I got a little bit of footage of the Dokyo Iri, all the guys coming out in their Keicho Mawashi. We were in what I call a butt seat. So there's 4 sides of the Dokyo, right? You can either be behind the gyoji, behind this wrestler's butt, behind this wrestler's butt, or in the front where you're looking on everything. We were on one of the sides behind a wrestler's butt. So we could see the other guy on the other side, like we zoom in really well. And like Aonishiki, all I got was cheeks, right? So when they're in their crouch in their stance, and then the gyoji is perpendicular, right, to us. So and that's not bad. I think that or in the front is preferable. I think the worst of the four is if you're behind the gyoji in a way. I don't know if I've sat in that type of a seat in a while, but anyway. Okay, so we had pretty good seats, and that means that when they walk in, they walk in from like behind the gyoji from this side and from this side. And when the guys were coming in from this side, I should be using the terms east and west. I don't know, guys. I forget. We saw them really well because they were like walking toward us in a way. And when they came in from this side, they're kind of like, you're never going to see their full face because they're kind of from the side. So when they came in this way, it was really great. And then they do the circle and the banzai. And then the two Yokozuna do their dohyo iri, and Hoshoru's facing me in the stands. And I'm like, cool. These are great pictures. And I'm taking pictures. I should have taken video. Because I'm thinking, oh, I'll wait and I'll take video of Onosato. Well, Onosato, of course, all I really saw was his butt. Except he does turn perpendicular for parts of the dohyo iri. And he does some stuff. But anyway, that was fun. And then they knew they were behind. We'd had a few mono-ii in Jurio. And a lot of them were tori naoshi, redos, which the audience loves when it's live. They love it because it's an extra match. It's a rematch. They get to see him fight again. But like 2 of the 3 mono-ii results in Jurio, the guys lined up again, and one guy pulled a henka. He's like, I'm tired. We already fought. I'm pulling a henka. And so it wasn't much of a rematch. But so we started the top division, and let's see how that went. Makuchi. Okay. So Sadanumi against Oshomi. Oshomi already has 8 losses, but he won today. It's only his second win of the tournament. He's now 2-8. Sadanomi's now 3-7. Nishiki Fuji got a 7th win by beating Meisei. Okay, so Meisei did lose. So he's now, Meisei's 0-1-9. So 0 wins, 1 loss, 9 absences. But basically 0-10. So he's just trying to get 3 or 4 wins, like I said, to cushion his fall when he goes down to Jurio. Chio Shoma went to 6-4, beating Toki Hayate, who was in the 2-loss group. Shonanumi! Maybe me being there inspired him to win. He beat Gonoyama, who was 6-4. He's now 3-7, but my team got a win. But Takeumi, who I got a great picture of in the halls while I was waiting for merch, beat Asakoryu. Midori Fuji beat Ryuden. That was a mono-ii. I'm not going to remember all the mono-iis, but there was a bunch, guys. Ichi Yamamoto beat Tomokaze. Kimbozan did beat Fujinokawa. That was disappointing, and that I do have a video of. Fujinokawa, despite kind of being a hot start, is now 6-4, so it feels very normal because he's lost like 3 of his last 4 matches. And Kimbozan is now 4-6. Roga beat Churan no Umi. I believe that was a mono-ii. Abi beat Shishi. Koto Shoho beat Atami Fuji. Daisho beat Onokatsu today. Shodai beat Tobizaru. That was a fun match. Shodai gets a lot of love in Kyushu because he's from Kyushu. Tobizaru is now 4-6, so is Shodai. Then Wakamoto Haru beat Hirada Umi, so that's Hirada Umi's Makekoshi. He's now 2-8. Wakamoto Haru evens out at 5-5. Wakatake Kage at Maegashira 1 beat Haku Oho, and Wakatake Kage is now also 5-5. Haku Oho's 3-7, so it looks like probably another Makekoshi for him if he loses one more match. Ura, huge, probably the most applause of the day, and he won. He's now 5-5. He beat Takanosho, the Komusubi, and that's Takanosho's Makekoshi 8th loss. So he's definitely going to get demoted from Komusubi. Kirishima beat Takayasu. That was a very spirited match. A lot of pushing and thrusting. Takayasu's just been on fire, but he can't get the win. So he's 5-5, and Kirishima improves to 6-4. Then Ao Nishiki versus Tamawashi. I took video of that. Lot of yelling for both guys because Tamawashi always gets good applause. And then people really have started, I think, to get behind Ao Nishiki. And the Sekewake won. He's now 9-1. The only one-loss Rikishi left, I believe, in the top division. And Tamawashi, unfortunately, is now 4-6. So he's got a lot of work to do if he's going to get Kachikoshi. Kotozakura, is kind of sleeping his way to a winning record, maybe. He's 5-5. He didn't look great today, but he got the win over Oho. Oho's 4-6. Then the match where everybody went bananas. Yokozuna Onosato, beaten by Yoshino Fuji, the Maegashira 5, who lost to Hoshoru yesterday, fights the other Yokozuna today and wins. The place went crazy. Yoshino Fuji 7-3 now. It's a Kimboshi, a lot of sponsors, and Onosato, that's his first loss. So when I just a minute ago said Ao Nishiki's the only one-loss Rikishi, I forgot. No, he's not. Onosato's got one loss now. So they are tied for the lead. So when they fight each other, man, that's going to be a match. And Hoshoru did what he had to do. He had Oshoma. It wasn't much, it wasn't too tough. Oshoma is now 3-7 with the loss. Hoshoru is 8-2, but he's only one behind Onosato and Ao Nishiki. So he can give both of them a loss if he beats them both to bring them all down to 2, type of thing. Whew, what a day of sumo. Okay. A little quick drink here. How was your Tuesday? It's such a lot to do on a Tuesday. I should have been at school working, So I'm going to go to bed fairly soon, and I have to get up and leave the hotel at about 6:30, and my bullet train leaves at 7 a.m. to go back to my part of Japan. And then I'm going to get a taxi at the station and go straight to school and go straight to work. Okay, I can't show you everything I got in here, but man, I got so much fun stuff. I mean, I got a lot of restock on like towels and things. I got big towels. I got Ao Nishiki. The poster they were giving out for free. I'll wait until I'm home and I can really like hold it. It's awesome. So that's something. I got a tote bag. I got the calendar. I got these. I'm not going to give these away, but these are cookies with the faces of the wrestlers on them. These are awesome. I got these from my barber. The guy who cuts my hair, we talk about sumo, and he's an Onosato fan. So his kind of like, because they won't take a tip. They don't want a tip in Japan. So I buy him things from time to time. And last year I bought him an Onosato towel, and he was really happy. And so now I'm going to give him these for Christmas. Because he'll cut my hair in December sometime. Got the program. So very, very nice. Lots of pictures and info. So this is a fun thing to mail out for a prize. I can only buy it. Well, I think Robert at Big Sumo Fan has that in stock. I got another of the Baymax towels, just because that was a fan favorite last time I had it. Some of the newer towels, I got they put out like a Hoshoru with him with the rope. So I got that. I got plushies. I got a Tamawashi to give away. What else did I get? I got a Yokozuna one. That's got to be Onosato, right? Right. Oops. With the rope. And I just got a bunch of stuff. Oh, I got a fun sticker. I got the smaller calendar. Desk calendar for 2026. So, and then a whole bunch of other stuff. So trust me. And okay, so this is my final story. So there's like souvenir booths like, you just walk around and you can buy all kinds of stuff. And then there's like the official like Sumo Association Sumo shop, and it's like they kind of like they rope it off, so you kind of go in with a basket, and then they have all the guys' stuff. Oh, I got acrylics. Where are those? God, I hope I don't forget to put them. Oh, here they are. Down here maybe. I don't know. Where are they? No, those are talent. Oh, I want to show you guys. Oh, okay, these guys. So, they're little standees, right? So they have like all the wrestlers for the towels and everything, calendar, program. And you kind of have to wait in a line to get in. And they kind of let you in one at a time so it doesn't get too crowded in there. And then you get out of line to go line up to pay. And the guys working the pay, the cashiers, if you will, are former wrestlers, in their windbreakers. And it's like another thing they have to do when they first retire. And so I'm in line, and right there, like 2 feet from me, is Okonomi. Okay, I am going crazy in my brain. Like, oh my God, that's Okonomi. Oh my God, that's Okonomi. I could meet, can I meet him? Will he let me take a selfie? And so there's 3 other former wrestlers. Aoyama's one of them. I'm trying to think who else it was. There was a Japanese guy I didn't recognize. Anyway, I'm just like, please, I'm coming up in line. Please, finish Okonomi. So when it's my turn, I get to go and I'll talk to you. Nope. They're like, oh, he's like, okay, over here. And it was Aoyama. And he was a nice guy, kind of chatted with him. I'm like, Genki desu ka? And he's like, oh, Genki desu, anatawa. And I'm like, oh, I'm very Genki. It's awesome, But I didn't get to talk to Okonomi. And I couldn't, like, when I was walking past him after I bought all my stuff, I didn't want to interrupt and be like, can I, because they'd probably be like, no, I'm working or something like that. There was one guy standing in the back. I'm not going to remember his name either, but he's another foreign-born Rikishi. He's not a Japanese. Anyway, and if he'd been doing that, like just kind of hanging out, waiting for his shift to begin or to give somebody a break or something, I would have gone up to him, But oh man, it was just cool to see him and everything. But I was like, oh man, I hope I get to give my money to Okonomi, and I didn't get to. So yeah, I just had such a fun day, and we went out for Mexican food after. There's this great Mexican restaurant. If you come to Fukuoka, it's called Taco Mia, Taco Mia, and there's 2 locations. I don't know if they're equally good, but I've been to this one. It's about a 10-minute taxi ride from the Kokusai Center. And we went in there afterwards and had great food, and yeah, it was just a wonderful day. So I'm so glad I got to go do that. And a lot of that's because of you guys at Patreon. You helped me buy all this merch and not like feel like my bank account is going crazy for doing so, and afforded these trips and stuff. So thank you to you guys that are here, that are members of the channel here on YouTube. There's still about 100 of you. Thank you very much. And the people that are over there on Patreon. I'll be back tomorrow, and I will have regular day 11 coverage. I set my DVR to record the sumo before I left on Monday to record today, so I could, if I'm on TV, I could see myself, and then to record Wednesday. So when I get home Wednesday, I'll have that day's sumo to put up on the channel. So hopefully it worked, and I have sumo to look at when I get home tomorrow. And because, like I said, I'm not going home before I go to work tomorrow. I'm getting off the early train, going straight to the office to school. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for being patient, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Talk about day 11. See ya. Peace.